What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault. Every morning we're here on BettingPros.com, always being brought to you by BetMGM. Welcome to New York, by the way. Our Juice 150 promo code works in New York. $10 bet to win $150 on any event with the promo code for new users at Juice 150. BetMGM, BetMGM.com, or wherever you use and can find the BetMGM app. Okay, so last night was bad. And, well, 0-3 on the props, and then the total does not come in. The pros were on the under. We were one touchdown drive away from cashing the over. Number came down. We had some against us line movement. I think it closed at 48.5. Kyler Murray and company just, I don't know what Cliff Kingsbury's deal is. Cliff Kingsbury against Sean McVay is an absolute mismatch, and I would have been, and I should have been on the Rams, but I leaned Cardinals. So I'm glad I didn't bet it because I would have been wrong. But man, that total 50 was there. It was right there. We got the Rams right. Should have bet the Rams team total. And I'm looking more into team totals. I'm beginning to like team totals more. And I think that's kind of how I'm going to approach this next weekend with the NFL. I'm going to look hard at team totals and try to get into some micro markets and not get into full games as much. This is the part now with the divisional round, and we've got 4 games this weekend and then 2 games next weekend and then the Super Bowl. We only have 7 games left in the NFL, in the football season. There is all the data you could ever dream of. There is so many algorithm in points and emphasis. It's difficult, right? I mean, look at the home favorites cleaning up going into this weekend. Everybody was talking about wild card dogs, how successful the wild card dogs had been. It was some ridiculous number, like 18-2 or something, right? And then teased. If you teased all the dogs, it was an 18-1 run for teasers, with the dog being teased up. Well, that dog got taken behind the woodshed and old yellered because that didn't happen. Only home team to lose, Dallas. How about that? Only home team not to cover, Dallas. Every other home team won. Every other home team covered. And most of them covered going away. Chiefs, Bills, Rams, Bucks. I mean, didn't just win. They won easily. And now we move to the divisional round, and, well, 0-3 on the props, 0-1 on the full unit bet. So an 0-4 day, down 1.75 units. Not good. Down on Saturday, up on Sunday, down on Monday, makes for a losing weekend. Bummer. I mean, again, that total, I don't know what McVay was doing. I mean, I don't know what Kingsbury was doing against McVay. Why were they so afraid to run Kyler Murray? That I don't get. Like, run Kyler Murray. That prop didn't come in. No pick from Stafford. Stafford performed well. He didn't throw a pick. And then the Cooper Kupp, I mean, that was, game theory was that they were going to force feed Cooper Kupp, but they didn't need to. I mean, he wound up like 70 yards, but they didn't need to force feed him because they would need to force the ball down the field to him if they were in a tight football game. They weren't in a tight football game, so he came way in. So all the props were weird. I went personally on Cooper Kupp over 30.5 for that other quarter unit that was hanging out there, the over 30.5 longest reception for Kupp. He had a 29.5 yarder or a 29 yarder. So it was like, man alive. That was brutal. So just missed it on that. So that kind of stunk. So just one of those nights. We turn the page and we move on. Okay, so now we got to really focus on the way the college basketball season's going to go, okay? And when I lose, I tend to shrink. You guys know this. I tend to go light. I go light anyway on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, kind of gearing up for the week, but just kind of how I go. We have basketball in the NBA, basketball at college, and the NHL to get us between now and Saturday till we get back to being able to bet on football. So I got 2 plays for you guys here, both half-unit plays in college basketball. Let's start with Oklahoma taking on Kansas. And this is going to be a really interesting game because Oklahoma at home catching 3.5 points from Kansas. KU on the road is 3-4 against the number this season. KU is uber talented. But Oklahoma needs to get a couple of these marquee victories here for their NCAA resume, for their tournament resume. They don't have that many great victories. Like they beat Iowa State, okay. They lost on the road to TCU. They lost by 14 to Texas in their 2 previous games. Not good. They beat Iowa State at home by as 6.5-point favorites. They won by 13 in their last home game. They lost by 10 on the road to Baylor. So 3 of the last 4 games on the road. 1 win, that win coming at home. At home this year, Oklahoma is 4-5 against the number, but I mean, they lost to Butler by 4. They beat Florida by 7. They beat Kansas State by 2. I mean, this Oklahoma team has got talent. This could be, you could make a case that this is a must-win game for Oklahoma. Like, their year is riding on them to win this game. They need a scalp. I know Kansas is more talented, but I got a home dog over 1 possession. I got 2 possessions essentially here. I need KU to win this game by 2 possessions. I think Oklahoma is live to win the game. It's a Tuesday in Norman, Oklahoma against our arch rival in Kansas. You know it's going to be just a monster atmosphere here. I haven't been all that impressed with Kansas. Okay, their last win out against West Virginia, they won by 26 points. They killed West Virginia. Really impressive, but they were 11.5-point favorites. They were 13-point favorites against Iowa State, and they won by 1. Last road game at Texas Tech, they were favored by 7. They lost outright by 8 points. So, I mean, this is a team that's lost to Dayton and that's lost to Texas Tech, and that's it. So they've been a little bit inconsistent, a little bit up and down. Let's hope we get a down night for KU tonight. Let's take Oklahoma at home plus 3.5 against Kansas for a half a unit. And let's go to the other game I'm eyeballing I like. It's Wisconsin at Northwestern. Wisconsin's been outstanding. They really have. They're 11-5 against the number this year. They're 5-1 against the Big Ten against the spread. They've covered the last 4 games, 7 in the last 10 they've covered, and they are 6-1 on the road. I know Northwestern has become kind of like this team everyone needs to watch out for, but they're coming off of a huge road win against Michigan State. I think you get Northwestern coming down off of a huge win. They had lost 4 games in a row. I get this line. You might look at it and go, wait, why is this line 2? I mean, 1-4 in their last 5. It's because people are looking at Northwestern and they're like, you got to be careful. They beat Maryland. They beat Georgia. They lost by 5 to Providence, but they lost to Maryland, lost by 8 to Ohio State, lost by 4 to Penn State as favorites, lost by 6 to Michigan State at home as 3-point dogs, but then they go on the road and get that big win. I think you're catching Northwestern off of a really high, a big emotional victory. I think you got Wisconsin coming in. This number is going to climb. I can't see this number staying kind of where it is, but I like Wisconsin here. I think Bucky's going to go in there and do some damage. They've been a really fun team this year. They're one of the best teams in the country, I think, that people need to look at. I mean, they're just outside Ken Palm's top 25, but they're 14-2. They play pretty slow because it's Wisconsin. They're 246 in adjusted tempo, but they're a team that has their 5th in strength of schedule. They've been tested by a bunch of teams, and they've played very well against the spread, 11-5. I'm not going to overthink it. Maybe it's a trap. I'm going to lay it. Wisconsin on the road, -2 at Northwestern. Can be a house of horrors. I know going to Northwestern can be very difficult. They play very similar basketball. Total's 138. You might say just play the under in this game, Matt, because both teams are going to play at a slow pace. I get it. Wisconsin is 11-5, though, to the over this year, which is very un-Wisconsin-like due to their offense. Northwestern 8-6 to the over as well. At home, they're 5-3. Wisconsin's 5-2. That's why I'm not playing the under. I think maybe you want to, looking at stats and trends, you may go with the over in this game. I'm just going to take Wisconsin, Bucky -2 on the road at Northwestern for a half a unit. Okay, so again, not a very big day for me. It's a Tuesday. Not going to get too overly committed. Try to win back a little bit, lick my wounds a little bit from yesterday, kind of right the ship a little bit. Maybe I'll jump in with NBA player props. Those are coming back, okay? This is the time of the year where we've got to get a couple things going. 1, NBA player props will come back, okay? They're definitely coming back in a big way. Number 2, I am also going to bring back a couple of our old favorites. The Don't Bet a Parlay on Fridays. That is coming back. And on Saturdays, coming back, we're going to start back up again on the Discord channel. The Discord bet is going to make its return. It's going to be on Saturdays. So we've got college basketball, college football, and the NHL to kind of get into. So we're going to crowdsource it a little bit. We're going to come together on Saturday mornings. I probably will do it a little bit later than what I normally was doing it. I think I was doing it at... Well, maybe it's okay. 8 o'clock Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern. Maybe still. I don't know. It's a little, sometimes I like sleeping in. Sometimes I want to get up at 7:45. I don't want to get up, and I have to get up at 7:15 or so to get ready for that Discord channel. But I am bringing that back, okay? Maybe not this weekend. More on that because we've got football this weekend. But I think once we get to February, once we get to Championship Sunday, when there's no football on Saturday, then we'll bring back the Discord bet. So not this weekend, but next weekend. But we will on Friday bring back the Don't Bet a Parlay and some other fun stuff as well that we'll do coming up. So it's that time of the year. We're going to have some fun. Football's winding down. We'll stretch our legs and have some fun. Okay. Wisconsin -2, Oklahoma +3.5. Both bets for a half a unit. Just 2 of them going for today on a Tuesday. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's the Daily Juice Podcast. Always being brought to you by BetMGM.